Good news, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I have a very special video. Today, we're going to be talking about Steven Universe, and my theory is on who shattered Pink Diamond. Now, a lot of people have been saying it was Yellow Diamond, but I particularly do not think so. I feel like there are two strong candidates for who it was. My first candidate is obviously White Diamond, but my second candidate, it might surprise you. My second candidate is Pink Diamond shattered Pink Diamond. We'll get into that later. So, for the first one, with White Diamond, it wasn't my theory to begin with. My brother came up with this theory that maybe either White Diamond arranged for Pink Diamond to be shattered it by working with Rose Quartz by cutting some sort of deal, or she did some other things, like let's say we know that gems have the ability to transform into smaller gems, not the other way around, but they can shrink down and be smaller. We see it all over the place. So it wouldn't be too weird for White Diamond to be able to, shrink down to the size of, let's say, Rose Quartz, and take on the appearance of Rose Quartz, including her weapon of choice, a sword, because as we know from this past special, that Pink Diamond was shattered by her sword. But wait a minute, I thought Business said that the Rose Quartz sword couldn't shatter gems, only destroy their physical form. I wonder how that could have possibly happened. And we've had on multiple occasions it be stated that only diamonds can, beat the diamonds. I mean, how can you shatter a diamond with anything that's, weaker than a diamond? I mean, I guess you could use things like, I don't know, high water pressure, or maybe something that can put a lot of force on that crystalline lattice, like, say, the breaking point, but we know it wasn't either of those because we heard explicitly that it was a sword that did this. So, how could those quartz do such a thing if her weapon has not the capability to do that? I say that it probably was White Diamond with the sword in front of the palanquin, in front of all of her people, no less. I mean, who else, like Zircon said, who else would have the authority to be able to stop Pink Diamond's palanquin, have her come out, and for her to be shattered in front of her entire entourage, and then be able to cover it up if by conveniently having their almost all the gems that went to Earth be wiped out by the Diamond super weapon. That seems a bit convenient to me. Now, there are some holes, like why would Eyeball, the movie, the survivor of such event, and finger her Rose Quartz that's in the trial? Well, it could be that, White Diamond's a diamond and she has absolute authority. So, yeah, that could be it. Also, Yellow Diamond seems to know what happened. Yellow Diamond reacted very strongly to that accusation. Either, like most people assume, she was the perpetrator of such an act, or she knows who did it, but she doesn't want Blue Diamond finding out. Otherwise, the same thing could happen to either of them. I mean, we don't. If we look at the diamond's little symbol, white diamond is on top. Blue and yellow are right there in the middle, below white diamond. So, and since her ship is obviously the head of their giant Voltron robot, that spaceship thing, then that I would assume that she's probably in charge of all of the gems. It would make sense that she wouldn't need to show up to the trial if, she didn't either. She was the perpetrator. She's too busy fighting whatever enemy that they're fighting, that they need all these resources to fight. Or it could be that, you know, she didn't hear about it. Maybe no one told her that Rose Quartz had turned herself in, which is the least likely of those options. Now, on to my theory about maybe Pink Diamond stuttering herself. I mean, let's look at Steven, for instance. Steven has an interesting set of powers, doesn't he? He can create a bubble around himself defensively. He has a shield instead of a weapon like most other gems. Let's see, he has an extremely rare ability to, heal things. Something that no other gem has. Even other Rose Quartz couldn't heal other gems. So what makes Steven's mom, and by extension Steven, different? I propose that Steven's mom and probably the other Rose Quartz were all created it as surrogate bodies for Pink Diamond. Let's say, because Steven also has another power that seems to be very interestingly overpowered. His ability to take control of living things, like the melons, like Lars, and being able to enter the mind of Malachite as well. Steven seems to have a very interesting power set. Oh yeah, and speaking of living things, he also has the ability to bring things to life, as in making those melons, or maybe that weird moss from the Lars and the Cool Kids, I think was the name of the episode. That weird moss seems to have a weird looking gem, one that looks surprisingly similar to Rose Quartz. I don't know exactly. I don't have the picture right here looking at it, but it seems to be Steven has some weird powers, and as we've seen, he can even bring things back from the dead, and that also has some other weird implications, like, creating an entire pocket dimension out of these living creatures. Her powers seem to be very weird compared to other gems, Rose Quartz's, that is. It almost seems like she has power greater than any other gem of her caliber, maybe on a diamond level. I mean, come on. It seems a bit too convenient that Steven has all these powers that seem to be a little too much for one quartz soldier gem that's not even a combat gem, mind you. We found out that those quartz are strategists, so they're not fully combat. they're probably mostly for their strategizing and the like. Well, how does he have all these powers? If all rose quartz had this much power, then why? I don't know. Were they so? Why were they so? You know, why were they put aside so easily? If all the rose quartz could heal other gems, which we know they can't, because it's specifically stated many times that rose quartz ability to heal things was unique. I don't know. So, why would Pink Diamond need a surrogate body? My theory is that it she was she felt like she was being overprotected. Earth was probably one of her first colonies, and she felt like she was, and she probably had a large entourage, and she probably couldn't go out and explore the planet like she wanted to, and she had duties that she had to do that were given to her by the white diamond and the other diamonds, but she wanted to go out and explore and see the planet that she was taking over. Well, how would she go about doing something like that if she had to go around in her palanquin and everything all day? Well, the only way I can think she would be able to do that is to, be in a different body. So she has all these rose quartz around her. They are her specific, quartz soldier. No other diamond seems to have rose quartz around them. They have other quartz like amethyst and jaspers and stuff like that, but no rose quartz. So, and rose quartz is actually just another name for a pink diamond. That's what really got me started on this thinking train. So, let's say the pink diamond decides that she's going to be a rose quartz for a couple of days, just to go out and look around the world that she now inhabits. And he sees the humans and other life on the planet, and she just falls in love with it all. And she realizes that what the diamonds are doing, is going to destroy all this life on the planet. Maybe she wants to, stop that, but she can't outright go against the diamonds, not as herself. So she has the rose quartz gem that she's swapping bodies with to stay in the palanquin and fulfill her duties while she goes out and rebels against the other diamonds and finds other unique individuals to help her with it. People that aren't going to be particularly subject to the diamond's authority, like Pearl, Garnet, and bismuth, and other ones that think a little differently than other gems. So, what do we do from there? Well, it just so happens that this war has been going on for for hundreds of years now, and there's no sign of it stopping anytime soon. What's he going to do? He's leading this double life as the perfect diamond in pink diamond and the rebel rose quartz. Well, the war has to end, and the only way that she can see it ending is, by dying. So, up until this point, I assumed that it just happened in where there were just a few people there when she was as alone as she would get as a diamond, and then she was shattered by those quartz to end the war. But with these episodes, I'm thinking, since he was in front of her entire entourage, well, what's going to happen? Also, another weird fact is Pearl. Where did Pearl come from? Which diamond does Pearl belong to? Because she's obviously a white pearl, but she was imperfect. She wasn't a perfect pearl. Her pearl is oblong instead of perfectly round. So what does that mean for her origins? Well, we know that each of the diamonds seems to have at least one pearl that it's their personal pearl that does all the work for them that they don't do. Well, what if maybe the pearl used to be White Diamond's pearl, and White Diamond was getting tired of Pearl acting strangely, so maybe to get rid of White Diamond and to stop White Diamond from shattering Pearl, Rose or Pink Diamond and decides to make a deal with White Diamond. Maybe maybe White Diamond tells her to take the fall for something that she was going to do. Maybe Rose Quartz was there at the Palanquin, but maybe she wasn't. Maybe she destroyed the Pink Diamond's physical form, and then White Diamond comes in and shatters her. Who knows? Maybe it was White Diamond who called the retreat, but we do know that for some reason the Diamond's weapon went off. For some reason the Diamond's weapon went off early. But well, if they were calling retreat, why would they set the weapon off early? Unless White Diamond was trying to, betray the Rose Quartz. Because it wouldn't be that hard to convince the other two diamonds to set it off early. Yellow Diamond would want to get revenge. Blue Diamond would be upset and just want it all to be over so that she can grieve. It wouldn't be that difficult to, sway the opinions of the others. So, what do you think happened then? Well, it was said by the Crystal Gems that they were the only few that Rose could save at the time. And, well, maybe that was White Diamond's, final thing to mess up those Quartz. But, who knows? This is all just theory and speculation. We'll find out eventually. Probably not anytime soon, but I think we're going to find out some more information in the next Stephen Dong. Thanks for coming out and watching this video, and that's going to be me signing out. When I see the way you eat one when I